call the March 11th, 2024 Winston County Board of Education meeting to order. Mr. Finley, would you lead us an invocation?
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you, dear Lord, for your Son, Jesus Christ. We pray, dear Lord, that you be with us, give us the guidance and direction that we need, making the decisions that we have. We just pray that you keep our hearts in tune with your will. We just pray, dear God, that you continue to bless and watch over our schools and our students, our faculty and staff, keeping them safe at all times. In Christ's name, amen.
Item C is the pledge of allegiance. Mr. Finley, would you lead us?
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item D is to establish a quorum. I see that all members are here. Item E is to approve the agenda. Do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda?
I make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Everybody's had a chance to look over it. Anything need to be added or taken away? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Mr. Finley, do we have any unfinished business?
No, sir, we do not.
Item G is new business. I'll turn it over to Mr. Finley for recommendation.
First order is Mr. Gray and Mr. Riddle, which I'm appreciative of you all coming or going to speak to us about our CTE program, and the craft program that we have some students approved for.
All right, guys?
Stand by you.
Stand up.
I know Mr. Finley and the board asked me to come tonight and speak just for a few minutes. I'm gonna speak just for a second, and I'll probably come back up here in a few minutes, about, and you can see here, the Academy of Craft Training. This is in Decatur. It's a partnership between the Alabama Department of Education and a lot of local businesses. And like I said, I don't wanna hear me and him say the same thing 10 times, so I'm gonna kinda fix and turn him over to him. But, Mr. Riddle, Haynes Riddle, you wanna come on up? And like I said, I'll come back up here in a second and answer any other questions, but he is the director of the Academy of Craft Training.
So, thanks for having us here tonight. We also have Mr. Charles Hall. He is our industry director, and I act as our education director and principal at our school. And so I'm gonna let Charles kick us off and explain a little bit about who we are and what we do, and I'll
Thank y'all for having us. Again, Charles Hall, I'm the Director of Operations for not only the North Alabama campus, but our other two campuses. The first campus is Birmingham campus, and our second is in Mobile, started last year, or 2 years ago, and then now North Alabama here in Decatur. So, as we said, we're a public-private partnership between the State Board of Education and the Associated Builders and Contractors. The Associated Builders and Contractors is the trade organization that I've worked for 12 years. And back in 2016, the Board of Directors and our Workforce Development Committee tasked us with coming up with a way to get more young people interested in the commercial construction industry. So we started talks with the State Department of Education and came up with what we call now is the Academy of Craft Training. We're open to 11th and 12th graders only, from about a 30-minute radius of Decatur. It's set up the same way in Birmingham, where we go out and recruit from those schools. Again, we started Birmingham 2016, about an 8-year track record. We were open to about 250 students in each location. Again, to address that labor shortage, those commercial contractors realize their labor pool is getting older, and the average age of that worker is in the mid-40s and higher. So we got to attract more young people to the industry to take those really good jobs, high wages, high demand jobs that are out there for people interested in the commercial construction industry. So I'm going to ask Mr. Riddle to talk a little bit about what we do from an education standpoint.
So this, I'm gonna go ahead and clear it up that this is our first year. So we start this year with 100 students throughout North Alabama. With this year, we have students from 12 different high schools in our in all of North Alabama, as he said, in about 30-40 minute drive time to our facility. This year, we're expanding. We was able to get out and recruit, talk to students, and get a lot of interest. We're gonna have 25 schools represented throughout 10 different school districts this year. So we received, I believe it was 386 applications this year. So our students actually apply to come to school with us, and then they come and do an in-person interview with our industry partners. And every bit of this is geared by the commercial construction industry. And so we accept students based on what they tell us. And so this coming year, we're accepting just over 200 students. Next year, we'll add a 5th trade and have up to 250 students at our facility in Decatur. So what we teach, we have commercial construction. And these programs, they pick which one that they want. They usually, when they do an application, they pick their first choice, then their second and third choice if they don't get in their first. So commercial construction, HVAC, electrical, and a welding with a emphasis on commercial metal structures. So our school, what makes us, it's very interesting to see. As soon as our students get to school, they get off the bus and they clock in and go to work, is what we call it. We run what you probably have heard before, a simulated workplace environment. Just like you guys do here at your tech school, where students, we call it going to work. And, the thing that we promote more than anything else is safety. Because in commercial construction, that is the number one priority. It's dangerous job sites, and if safety's not a top priority, someone could get hurt. And so that's one thing that we teach from day one all the way through the end of it is safety. In that workplace environment, we have cell phone policy where students, for the hour and a half or hour and 15 minutes that they're with us, they cannot have their cell phones out. Just like on a commercial construction job site, you can get someone killed or yourself killed. And so our contractors, our industry partners, they know this. They know that these students have been trained to stay off their phones, and that's what makes them employable, and that's what makes them, the contractors see that a lot of interest in our students because of that. Also, again, strict on our PPE. Another thing that's really great about this is it's no cost to the students. There's no shop fees, anything like that. Now, since this is a State Department of Education school, there's no cost to the school system. Transportation is provided by the State Department of Education. And two other things that we offer while they're with us, students earn 2 career tech credits per year, an embedded math credit that can count as their senior math, and also a career readiness indicator, which this comes in a form of credential that we offer the students. And starting with this year's 10th graders, I believe they all have to have a career readiness indicator to even graduate. So that checks the box, for several different things that we're able to offer. Want to play this video, if it will play. So we had a video with a couple of our former students where we had interviewed them, and yeah, you just want to skip. You want to try the video again, or just?
We'll just skip it.
Okay, good deal. So in that video, we had some former students that went on to be successful. The main thing about us, though, and what it's all about, is these students and getting them jobs. That is our metric that we measure our success by, is by putting students to work. And that's what that's our promise to students, and that's what we follow through with, and is the jobs. That's what it's all about. It's putting students to work. If they want to go to work and they want, gainful employment in commercial construction, they want to learn a trade, then this is the route for them. Also, I'll tell this, that when we go out recruiting, I tell our students, look, if you're in 10th grade, going into 11th grade, and you're already going to your tech center, go to your tech center your 11th grade year. You know, go over there a couple more years, and then your senior year, let us be that final piece. You know, look at us as like that final step to the employability side of things, but just because of our network of contractors and employers. So I'm gonna turn this back over to Charles on what makes us different too.
So when we started these conversations with the Board of Education and our members, those commercial contractors in the state, we have a pool of probably 400 to 500 contractors between the two Associated Builders and Contractors locations. There's one in Birmingham and one in Huntsville. We had to find a way to get these students hands-on experience. We had to figure out a way to get them on a job site so they can see a real commercial job site firsthand. So we started what we're calling our internship and employment program. These students are able to go out on internships during school breaks. Their first availability is that Thanksgiving break. They'll go work for those 3 days, the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of Thanksgiving. And then over Christmas and New Year's, there's almost 2 weeks there sometimes, the way the school calendar falls. So they get practical hands-on experience working with these commercial contractors, and they're paid internships, so they get money in their pocket and they get some experience in the industry. They also, since there's several breaks throughout the year, they can work with multiple contractors. So they'll figure out where they're a fit, and the contractor too has time to figure out if that student is a fit for their company and their culture. Graduating seniors, we at the end of the year, we're getting close to it now, on April 9th, we'll have our Industry Day. We bring those contractors into our campus facility. They set up a table and bring in a couple of people from their company, and they get to speak with every one of those seniors that's graduating. They have a kind of cut sheet, it's got the student's picture, what they've done throughout the year, what they want to go on to do after graduation, and they'll come back to us and say, I want to interview this list of students further. We'll set those up, and they come in and talk with each of those students, and then the last step is those contractors will send job offers to us that we share with that student, and then some students end up with multiple job offers, some of them end up with just a couple. But as Mr. Riddle said, if we promise them if they complete the program, they're recommended by their instructor, we will help them find that full-time job upon graduation. We've had students that have come out, and now our 8-year track record in Birmingham, a few years down the road, they're on their way to be a project manager or superintendent. We had one young man that drives around in a company truck, company gas, and installs interior doorways, and he's making a fantastic living, supporting his family. So we've seen the model that it works in Birmingham, so we're just doing the same model here. So it so far has been a great success up here as well.
And this May 14th, I want to invite everybody up to our facility on May 14th. If you want to see where we start at the very beginning of the year, we're looking at May 14th, and that's our signing day. That's where all of our seniors, we've went through, we've talked with them, and we found that fit. And our signing day is almost like a big athletic scholarship signing day where they walk up there and they pick up the hard hat, they shake the hand of that contractor, and it's just a big celebration of that student deciding to enter the workforce. Because at the end of the day, that's what we are. We're workforce developers, and we're trying to get these students out. Some of them come from, different, you can imagine all throughout North Alabama, some of these, this is their shot out. And so I'm tickled and excited that we're able to bring this opportunity to North Alabama. So this is what we tell all of our students that we're looking for, is just students that are interested in a career in commercial construction. This is not a threat to, other career tech programs or anything. We really cannot, we can only accept so many students. We only have so much room in our facility. And it's just geared toward students that know that, hey, I want to be an HVAC technician, or one day I want to be a project manager, or a superintendent, or electrician. We have a lot of students in our electrical class. So that's who we're looking for, is for these students that want to go into full-time employment whenever they graduate. And at this time, turn it back over to you, and we'll be glad to answer any questions.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
what, the transportation that you were talking about, let's say a senior, say from Double Springs or Arley or wherever, you said the state's providing that transportation? Is
So,
it
let
through
me,
the
let me,
Board of
let me, let me
Education?
say something on that, just to help really clear up
Okay.
exactly this and probably answer part of your question. So, you notice he said in a 30-minute radius, right?
Yeah,
So, we cannot offer this to everybody in the county, because everybody's not in that 30-minute radius. You know, when they started this one, and he and I've been talking probably for a year, or close to it about this. And what can we do, how can we do it at all? You know, what are the possibilities? And after we got through all those talks, really the only kids we're talking about would be kids from Addison High
Yeah.
School. Okay, and they've had 12 kids from Addison High School that have shown interest in doing this next year. Now, as far as the transportation goes, basically it works the same as our buses. The state basically reimburses us
For
if we
using our
decide,
bus.
right, just like if you're gonna send those kids from Meek over to me, we have a bus that comes over. There'll just now be a bus that goes there, and they'll be basically there at this, may have some kids come to me, while some other kids go there.
Yeah.
And they're all gonna come back basically at the same time, and they'll go through their math, science, history, whatever else they've got that
well,
day.
since they said they had an embedded map in the course
Right.
itself, so.
Right, and that may help some of those
Yeah.
kids, yeah, right.
And I can tell you in Coleman County, what we did this year with some students, we had several from West Point. So West Point was gonna get a bus, but we only have one or two from Good Hope. So we kind of worked a deal out between the two principals that these students from Good Hope, if they wanted to, they could, drive and park on West Point's campus and get on the bus. And so that could be something that y'all would look at and consider in the future. That's just something that's worked for us.
We're in that testing phase to see how this is gonna work, see if
Yeah.
there's any interest to start with. Well, we had some interest, and it may be as this thing grows, that we can grow it,
Sounds
Awesome.
exciting. What about when you said they get paid?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we talking more than minimum wage, right?
So we started a staffing company, just for our students, a few years back, to, like I said, to only handle our students. So they work through what we call craft training employment. And then it's $13 an hour for the internships, the short internships throughout the year. That amount's billed back to the contractor of the 1.5 bill rate, which helps us cover that insurance, workers' comp, all that stuff that goes into it, as well as brings a little money back into the program. And then those seniors, when they go into full-time employment, we bump them up to $16 an hour during a 400-hour period. It takes about 8 to 10 weeks during the summer for them to work that amount of hours. It's a trial.
Sort of like
Period.
co-op, like we used to have that program.
A little bit, but it's more of a time
In the
that
industry, I'm talking.
yes,
Right.
that contractor can try them out and vice versa.
Yeah.
And then they're hired on full-time. If they do a good job and the contractor likes them, they'll hire them on full-time. But typically bump them up even from there into a higher pay rate.
Pretty good.
Okay, so a couple other things. I know there was, some misinformation out there, and that's why I wanted Mr. Riddle to come and talk today. They do what we do. He talked a lot about credentials and CRs. Every one of our programs has CRIs and credentials. We do all the same things that they do. They are us. I mean, we run the exact same standards, everything. What's different? Well, they kind of explained that. Because of their location, some of those ties with those industry, obviously, that we don't have. But as far as what they have to do and what our kids have to do at the Career Academy, those are the same, it's the same. They do offer some programs that we don't offer, which I think is, one of the big draws to this for me. Is, if a kid wants to go into HVAC, well, they can't come to us and do that because we don't have HVAC. And there's a couple other things, building construction, that we don't have, So those are the things that when we started looking at, I thought, here's a way that we can offer more to our kids. Even if it's a few, I'm always looking for every opportunity we can to offer something else. Because what's the end of the day, what we're trying to do? Get these kids that want a job, get them a job. And we do some of the same things. Danny Snoddy being a perfect example. you know, he has a lineman program, it's one of the few in the state. There are hardly any of those in state Alabama. Well, he has a really good tie with Alabama Power. We send a lot of kids to Alabama Power through our electrical program. It'd be no different than, you know, what they're gonna do. They just have some other resources that we don't have because of where they're located and because of those partnerships that they have, you know.
The contractors, are they mostly from Huntsville and Limestone County?
They're
all
all
over
over,
Alabama?
they're all over North Alabama. So there's a whole group, that Associated Builders and Contractors, and her memberships, those 3 counties up in North Alabama around Huntsville, they're spread out. And we even reach down to Coleman, we have contractors down there that our Coleman students can go work for. So we really span the state, and a lot of these commercial contractors, they have locations in all over the state too. So students that wanna travel, they can go wherever they want to, just about in the state.
And that's a
It's
good
all-
thing about where you're at, you know, you're kinda halfway in between,
That's right.
and you know, you have somebody like Saya Construction, one of our partners, with office in Birmingham, so, you know, students could, at the end of the day, could kinda pick where they're working at. It could be out of Huntsville or out of, you know, there's some in Coleman, Birmingham, so.
All commercial contractors, all of our members are commercial, industrial guys.
Coach Gray, this won't have a negative effect on our vocation.
No, basically, it looks like on paper,
Yeah.
it looks like on paper that those kids are coming to me.
Okay,
As far as from, you know, our Perkins 5 money, which is our biggest chunk of federal money that we get, and that's, you know, directly for career tech, Perkins 5 is, and that comes from the feds. On paper, it'll look like same number of kids, so nothing will change for what we do, from a money standpoint.
So if they do that, then it goes on our attendance.
Yeah, it doesn't change, it looks like they're on our kids on
Yeah.
paper, you know.
And that's what I tell everybody, they are your kids, and this is your school. You know, it's a Winston County school as much as it is a Decatur City, Colton County, Hartselle.
Yeah, and what'd you say, now y'all got how many different schools?
10 different school districts, 25 different high
Yeah,
schools.
you know, so,
this year.
you know, we would just be, you know, that 125, everybody. And like I said, I just saw it, we see it as, or I see it as a opportunity for some kids. And that's what excited me about it, you know. Anything we can do to give those kids extra opportunities, I'm all about it, whatever it is. You know, of course, you know, big thing now and is governor is pushing jobs and all, and CTE, you go to these meetings I'm in, you know, every month seems like, you know, it's, what are we doing, what are they changing? And so it's a huge push. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see more of these open up as the success that y'all are having with this, you know. But, and we still wanna keep, you know, obviously pushing what we're doing too, and we got a lot of great things going on over here, but it's just another resource, you know, is all it is, another resource for our kids.
you have a question?
So we're very fortunate to be invited, just, we're close enough that we got to
Well,
be
yeah,
invited.
well, yeah, and that's, when he told me about it, I said, hey, I'm interested, I wanna talk, and we've talked, you know, many times on the phone and in person, and when I'd see him, he was always at the same conferences, and we talked about this for a while, so, you know, I said, if we can make it work, that's what I always told him, I would love to get some of our kids involved if we can. And maybe we grow it even more, you know, but,
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Item number 2,
I'd ask the board to approve the following leaves of absence. Kelly Boyd and Caitlin Sellers, both from Addison, and they're both teachers.
do I hear a motion on item number 2? Do
I'll make the motion.
I hear a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Item number 3,
I'd like to ask the board to approve Bresco's bid for $55,476.24 for combi ovens at the elementary school here in Double Springs. That cost is offset probably 90% through grant, so that's not gonna cost the board much money.
do I hear a motion on item number 3?
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Item number 4,
I'd ask the board to approve Williams County Schools and participation in our summer feeding program.
do I hear a motion on item number 4?
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Is that the same thing we've been doing?
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Item number 5,
I'd ask the board to approve participation with nearby school system to solicit and accept bids for produce.
do I hear a motion on item number 5?
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
What do we mean by,
It's gonna be lunchroom produce, so we'll partner in with other schools.
oh, what other school systems?
Yes.
Same thing, okay, I got you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Item number 6,
I'd ask the board to approve the following removal disposal, from the lunchroom at the elementary school here in Double Springs, and I'll let you, view that list. Just things we've upgraded and obsolete.
do I hear a motion on item number 6?
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
Now, will they scrap it? What will they do?
Depends on how bad the condition is. We'll try to bid it off first. It'll be sealed bid on it first, pictures, and it'll be on the web deals. That's the way that'll work.
It's already inventoried and all that, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Item number 7,
I'd ask the board to accept the resignation of Mr. Brian Heck. He was an agri-science teacher at Lynn High School and Williams County High School, effective at the end of his contract.
do I hear a motion on item number 7?
When is the end of the
His
contract?
contract would end in June, the last of June, correct? July, first of July, or end of July? End of July.
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Does anybody on the board need to bring anything else up to the board? All right, we will set a meeting probably after, spring break. We'll set up our next meeting, and we'll get in touch with everybody and get it posted.
And if you all think about it, if we can arrange such, and Mr. Gray will probably have it on your campus, because if it's suitable, we can get everything pulled together, we'll have it on your campus so we can recognize our state officer.
Oh, okay, sure, absolutely.
And that'll be probably week after next.
Yeah, it'll be week after. Next week's gonna be spring break, and then we'll probably do it the next week. All right? If I don't hear anything else, do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
I make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor, raise your right hand. All voted for it. Thank you all for coming, but this meeting is now adjourned.